Right now in news, the Trump administration says they are laying out a plan to help farmers who are being hurt by tariffs. Plus, the White House says they may take away security clearances of former top intelligence officials who've been critical of the president. And dozens are dead after wildfires roar near Athens, Greece, while officials say they expect that number to rise.
This is News 3 at noon.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Mark Kane. Thanks for tuning in to News 3 on this Tuesday afternoon. We'll get to the stories in just a bit, but first, let's head over to the Weather Center. Meteorologist Chris Reese has a look at your first alert forecast. Getting a little sticky out there.
It is a little sticky. It's a beautiful day, but yeah, those dew points come up, so it's still pretty humid out there, folks. Here's a live look, courtesy of the WISC-TV camera. You've got some beautiful clouds out there. Again, though, these are decorator clouds that just kind of popped up with the heating of the day. Here's visible cloud track. As the sun came up, you see more of these clouds kind of popping up. We call that convection, but there's no real rain to worry about coming from this cloud cover. It's just that time of the year where you get those clouds popping up into the afternoon and evening. Most of that rain well to our east now. That's going to be over Michigan, where the upper level low is still bringing lots of cloud cover and shower chances for them. Temperatures here are still on the warm side, upper 70s to low 80s for all of us. 85 in Moline, Illinois, 83 for us right here in Madison. We'll watch our temperatures top out a couple degrees higher, right around 84, 85 today before cooling things off later. Now tomorrow, another good day, Mark, but then tomorrow night we are watching the chance for some thunderstorms to move on through ahead of a cold front. Some of those could be strong to severe. It's not a big severe weather outbreak, but of course we've seen time and time this summer where some of those marginal severe weather days have put down some pretty damaging storms. So we'll keep a close eye on those.
We could use some rain too.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, we'll check back in a few minutes. Chris, thank you.
Sounds good.
Topping the news today, the Trump administration is preparing a plan to provide billions of dollars in emergency aid to farmers who've been hurt by tariffs. The Agriculture Department was expected to announce the plan later today. The plan aims to provide temporary relief to farmers who've faced retaliation from U.S. trade partners during Trump's escalating trade dispute with China. The administration has slapped tariffs on $34 billion in Chinese goods, and China retaliated with tariffs on soybeans and pork. Senator Ron Johnson and Senator Tammy Baldwin have written to President Trump, raising concerns about the harm of tariffs on businesses in the state. Kimberly-Clark Corporation says it's open to negotiating state incentives to save at least one of two facilities from closing in Wisconsin. Kimberly-Clark's position on the Cold Spring facility Tuesday follows a new labor agreement ratified Monday night by United Steelworkers. The president of the local union says the new agreement provides Kimberly-Clark with concessions aimed at keeping Cold Springs in operation. The company announced earlier this year that it planned to close the Cold Spring and the Neenah nonwovens factories, eliminating 610 jobs. Kimberly-Clark said that with the new union agreement, it's open to negotiating incentives with the Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation. Two members of the president's cabinet are in Adams today. They are learning about the school district's efforts to improve mental health. Health and Human Services Secretary Alex Azar, Education Secretary Betsy DeVos, and other federal representatives are visiting Adams Friendship Middle School today to learn more about its school safety and wellness programs. Wisconsin's First Lady Tonette Walker, representatives from the State Education Department, parents, and students will host the visitors. We'll have updates on the roundtable discussion tonight on News 3 at 6. The White House is defending a potential move to take away security clearances of former top intelligence officials who've been critical of the president. Critics call it retribution for speaking out against the administration. It is common for former intelligence officials to hold on to their clearance after they leave office to advise their successors. Two men who would be impacted fired FBI Director James Comey and his ex-deputy Andrew McCabe. Another person singled out former CIA Director John Brennan, who had harsh criticism for Mr. Trump following his news conference in Finland last week with Russian President Putin.
I think anyone who's calling basically the president treasonous, which would require the death penalty, is someone that is over the top and not showing the proper judgment to still have access to classified information.
I've never seen anything like it. I was amazed. I was taken aback, to say the least.
I think he's trolling people, honestly. This is something that's in the purview of the executive branch. I think some of these people have already lost their clearances. Some people keep their clearances. That's something that the executive branch deals with. It's not really in our purview. I think he's just trolling people.
Security clearances are renewed every 5 years. At least 2 large fires have killed 74 people in Greece, and officials say the death toll could rise. Gale force winds are fueling several large wildfires raging across seaside towns near Athens. Witnesses say the fires are changing direction so quickly that many people are being caught off guard. In a heartbreaking discovery, Red Cross workers found more than 24 bodies huddled together, hugging each other. Officials used a flotilla of boats to rescue 700 people in the midst of the deadliest fire season to hit Greece in more than 10 years. And a dangerous storm system is stalled over the East Coast this afternoon, putting more than 26 million people under a flash flood watch. About 80 miles northwest of Philadelphia, raging floodwaters swallowed the town of Tremont, Pennsylvania. Officials there declared a disaster emergency because of the flash flooding. 3 days of rain across central Pennsylvania saturated the ground, giving water very few places to go. Fire crews spent the day rescuing many people from vehicles that didn't make it through the flooded roads. Those abandoned vehicles then clogged streets, hampering other rescue efforts.
It makes it tougher to get everybody around, and it's tough for the emergency personnel to get out and work.
The famous Hershey Park in Hershey, Pennsylvania, closed for a few days. Because of the flooding, it is now back open. Well, there's more to come on News 3 at noon. Up next, we'll see what Howard's working on in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
It's tomato season, and we have an Amish-inspired recipe that's fresh from the farm. Boy, is it ever good. If you have a garden or have been to the market lately, then you know we're smack dab in the middle of tomato season. This is the time of year that tomato lovers like me wait for. And since many of you are always looking for new ways to use tomatoes, we thought we'd share an old school Amish recipe that's both easy and tasty. And it goes together like this. We start by cutting a bunch of ripe tomatoes into chunks. As for the type, you could use anything from hearty beefsteak tomatoes to artsy-looking heirloom varieties. To that, we add a sweet onion that we've slivered. Now, for the part that gives these extra flavor, we mix together some vegetable oil, apple cider vinegar, a bit of sugar, and a few off-the-shelf spices. This gets poured over the tomatoes and it's ready to go. We can enjoy it as is, or we can pop it in the fridge so that all the flavors really come together. What makes this so good is the farm-to-table simplicity. It's what Amish cooking is all about. Let me tell you, it doesn't get any better than this. To get the recipe for what we call Amish Harvest Tomatoes, all you have to do is visit our website. I know you'll be glad you did. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen with Kelly, where today we found an easy Amish way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
All right, Howard, thank you. Coming up, our registered dietitian joins us in studio to answer your health and nutrition questions. Start thinking those up. I'll let you know when to call in. And our chance for rain returns this week. Chris Reese has the details in his first alert forecast coming up. Let's check Wall Street at the noon hour. The Dow Industrials up 231 points. The NASDAQ up 22. Let's check in now with Q106 Farm Director Pam Yankee on this Tuesday. I think Google had a great earnings report, and that's what's affecting the Wall Street there.
Yeah, I could believe that. I could definitely believe that. And probably waiting on Amazon, too, after their big debut last week, even with technical issues. So, yeah, good for them. They're having a great day. Agriculture, not so much so. In fact, I'm going to get done here with the noon show pretty quick because U.S. Ag Secretary Sonny Perdue has just called a press conference at 12:30 Wisconsin time. He is going to be talking with farm broadcasters on what he's got in the works to try to help farmers offset some of these losses when it comes to the tariffs and international retaliation that they're feeling in the marketplace. Our markets are down today on the midday, not so much because of the tariffs, but instead what's going on with our weather. You know, last week was a perfect example where temperatures were pretty moderate. We got a little moisture around here. So we have not had any real drastic losses on our corn or soybean progress in the state. 83% of our corn as of Sunday considered good to excellent. 81% of our soybeans good to excellent. 85% of our wheat good to excellent, with 28% of that crop already harvested. Oats, 87% good to excellent. The only crop that suffered a little bit, potatoes, were down about 2 percentage points. Still, 84% of that crop looks good to excellent. So those are the kinds of numbers that the markets are looking at. And like I said, all across the Corn Belt, things looking pretty good without any real big concerns. Missouri, Kansas, down into that neck of the woods are talking about extreme heat and drought conditions. But again, yields in states like Iowa, Illinois, and Indiana will probably make up for it. So a big day today on dairy. Barrel cheese up 11 cents to $1.44. 40-pound black cheese, that still gained a penny at $1.53. The AA butter dropped 6.5 cents to $2.22.5. So remember the lesson I'm trying to teach you guys. Barrel and black only justified to have about a 3-penny, 5-penny difference between the two. Barrel took the big jump today, so now we're back to about a 9-cent difference between the two. So the market can correct pretty quickly, both up and down, I'm afraid.
How's our butter doing?
Butter's just peachy. Today was not such a peachy day, but if you've got to go stock up on it, $2.22.5 is what you want to use as a benchmark.
So the 401k is in trouble again.
Yeah, we're going to have to go. I think our 401k is the barrel block split.
Okay, let's go.
Now.
Let's go with that for a while.
All right.
All right. Have a great day.
See you later.
Chris is here now with the weather. It's July in Wisconsin.
It is July in Wisconsin. Still a beautiful day. It's just going to be humid as you step outdoors. But we do have rain chances coming into the forecast. We'll talk about those here in a moment. Now, of course, there are a lot of clouds out there now. We call those cumulus clouds. At this point, they're just decorator clouds. They are not building any showers or thunderstorms today. Now, tomorrow afternoon, that might be a different story. 83 degrees the temperature right now. We still do have those winds out of the west and northwest at about 7 miles per hour. Those dew points are higher, though, all the way into the mid and potentially upper 60s, so it is a little bit sticky as you step outside. 82 degrees for our friends in Janesville and Monroe. A little bit cooler back towards the west. Viroqua coming in at 76 degrees as of now, but those dew points are into the upper 60s. Watertown has a dew point of 69, 66 for Janesville and Madison here. A little bit lower in the dew points back towards the west, but nonetheless, that's the reason why it's a little bit sticky out there. We don't have any showers or thunderstorms coming up for us here on Doppler track, nor back to the north and west. Really, all of those shower chances are confined over the state of Michigan and parts of southern Canada right now. It's that same upper-level low system that's really been bringing those rain chances to the eastern half of the country. In addition to the rain chances, it's also keeping a lot of that cloud cover around for them. We don't have much cloud cover for us here in Wisconsin other than those decorator clouds that I did talk about. That upper-level low going to work its way off to the east. High pressure staying in control, but that works its way to the south with the region of low pressure just to our north. That means we get back in on a southwesterly wind into your Wednesday ahead of this cold front that's moving on into town. And once that cold front comes in, that does have the chance for some showers and thunderstorms to develop, especially Wednesday night and into your Thursday. Some lingering clouds will likely linger on Thursday as well before Canadian high pressure takes over. Here we go, hour by hour through the day on Wednesday. We'll see those highs topping out into the low 80s. Then those rain chances really begin to develop right around 8 o'clock or so, working their way to the south and east, pretty much bringing all of us the rain chances and the clouds. Now get this, there is a chance for some of those storms to be strong to severe. Right now, the Storm Prediction Center does have a marginal risk for severe storms. It's a level 1 out of 5. That means severe storms are possible, but they'll be isolated in nature. So keep that in mind as we go into Wednesday night, that we could be dealing with some severe storms. But what everyone experiences after that is the drop in temperatures, folks. By Thursday and Friday, Saturday, Days will stay in the 70s with low humidity. We will have a spike in temperatures as we get you towards, yes, next week, but still, we're staying right around average for this time of the year. This afternoon, 84 degrees being your high. Yes, it is humid out there, so do keep that in mind. The rain chances on Wednesday come later on in the day on Wednesday, so your outdoor plans tomorrow are not a washout. Yes, it will be humid and it'll be warm, but those rain chances coming in later on in the day. Thursday, not too shabby of a day. It'll be cloudy. I can't rule out a few sprinkles. Same for Friday, but still temperatures look great. Saturday looks absolutely amazing, and we're going to stay fairly cool for this time of the year going through the next 10 days.
Well, I don't mind that at all.
I don't either. I think that if you could choose what kind of weather to get for the summer, I think the next couple of days are going to be perfection.
Upper 70s, low humidity.
Yep.
That is perfection. All right, Chris, thank you. And there's more to come on News 3 at noon. Up next, registered dietitian Michelle Swader joins us in the studio to answer your health and nutrition questions. 270-9933 is the number to call. We'll get to your questions right after this. Registered dietitian Michelle Swader is here, taking your calls at 270-9933. Good to see you again.
You too.
Vegetables coming in from the garden now this
Yes,
time
they
of
sure
year.
are, yep.
So how do you keep? What's the best way to keep them?
Well, once you get overloaded with them in your kitchen, the best way to keep them fresh and keep them long-term is to blanch them. And that does add a few steps to the process. You're going to put them in boiling water. It doesn't take very long, somewhere between 1 and 5 minutes, depending on the vegetable. Then you take it out, put it in ice-cold water to cool it. Then you need to drain it. The benefit of that, though, is that it kills some of the enzymes that would normally ripen and soften the fruit. So when you do thaw it, maybe in the middle of winter, you're going to have a much better product than if you would have just chopped them up and put them in the freezer.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so just for that one extra step.
Yep, it's a little bit extra work, but it will pay off.
It's not that big of a deal, is it? Let's go to Mary in Mount Horeb, 270-9933, the number to call. Mary, go ahead.
I would like to know about eggplant.
What would you like to know?
How do you use it? Vitamins or whatever you can.
Okay.
Sure.
All right.
I'm suspecting you maybe have some eggplant in the garden to use up. One of the things when you prepare it, it's good to actually slice it up and then salt it and let it drain. Put it in a colander and let it just drip into the sink for about 20, 30 minutes. There's a little bit of bitterness in eggplant, and the salt will actually help rinse that off, and it'll get some of the moisture out, so if you throw it on the grill or you throw it in the oven, it doesn't get too mushy. It's great for antioxidants. Technically, it's one of our blue to purple vegetables, so there's a lot of fiber and lots of great antioxidants in those.
Lots of good stuff in there.
Yeah.
All right. Let's check in with Jackie in Waniwak. Hi, Jackie.
Hi. I have a question about vegetables, and are there any vegetables that are known to be really good for, like, breast cancer?
Well, actually, that goes back to the antioxidant point. A lot of the best vegetables, a lot of color, like the berries and even the melons that are reds and oranges are going to have a lot of antioxidants, and that helps with your cells, and the cells are obviously something that's affected with cancer. So eating a lot of fruits and vegetables, pretty much of almost any kind, will help.
All right. Can't go wrong with vegetables. Let's go to Cliff in Janesville. Hi, Cliff.
Hi.
Hi, what's your question?
I have elderly parents, and my wife and I and my two sisters have been taking care of them. What is the best food for them to eat? The same food that we eat, or should we make something special for them, or what do you think?
Well, assuming that they don't have any chewing and swallowing issues, the general diet is still the same. One thing that does happen with a lot of older folks is that they end up losing their muscle mass. So one of the things that we're trying to encourage is to get protein at every meal. If you're doing some counting, they recommend up to 20 grams at breakfast, at lunch, and at dinner. So you have a constant stream of protein to help keep up that muscle density, which of course helps prevent falls and things in the future.
All right. We had a caller who hung up. He wanted to know about new blood glucose meters. Is there something else there?
Well, my guess is that he's talking about the new one that you can actually hold to your skin and get it to read right off a sensor. There's just a few of them out there on the market right now, but you will actually put the reader on your skin, and it's attached by an adhesive, kind of like a Band-Aid adhesive, and it's a little plastic disc. And whenever you want to check your blood sugar, you just hold your sensor over that disc, and so you have to poke yourself with needles much, much less often, and you get an immediate reading. And so people tend to maybe be willing to read more times a day. That gives dietitians and doctors and nurses better results, so we can adjust medicines better across the day.
So they're just coming onto the market now?
They're just coming out into the market. I have a patient who's using it. I've seen a few commercials that have just started to show up. So it'll be very interesting. It's a very new development in that treatment.
All right, we're out of time. If you're on the line, stay there. Michelle will talk to you off the air. We'll see you next time. Here's Chris with one final check of the forecast.
That's right. Still going to be a beautiful day out there today. Lots of sunshine. You'll see those temperatures mainly into the 80s for just about all of us, but we will begin to cool things down as we go through the middle of the week, bringing a chance of strong storms.
Making plans that are weather dependent? Get an accurate 12-hour, even a 10-day forecast. Download the Channel 3000 First Alert Weather app and start planning.